In working with over 100 fighters, one of the most common questions I get asked is, what can I do when I'm feeling really nervous or when I'm terrified before a fight? So in this exercise, we're going to review what techniques and tools can we use when we are feeling scared and that anxiety is really strong. And the exercise that we're going to use is called the Physiological Sigh, or the double breath. And if you're interested into how and why it works, at the end of the video I've included some clips and useful information. But let's jump straight in. In order to do this exercise, you don't need to be sat in any particular way or touch your fingers. Just have your back straight, and ideally we want to close our eyes to get the best experience. And let's begin by taking in 5 deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you continue to do that, I really want you to focus on, where do you feel the sensation of the breath? And this is a concentration exercise, not a relaxing one. One more. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, so now back to regular breathing. So I'm going to make this super simple and step by step so you can follow it without problem. And here's how it works. So you're going to take in a breath through the nose, but before you exhale, you're going to take another inhale like this, so you're not. And we're going to do a long exhale. So let's try this together now. We're going to do 5 in a row. So we inhale and out through the mouth. Again. And as you're doing it, you want to focus on the flow of the breath. And if you're having thoughts, great, but as soon as you notice that, that is your trigger to come back to your double inhale. Okay, let's go again with another 5. In through the nose, again. Exhale. You breathe in, again. Let's do 3 more. It's the nature of the mind to wander. And as you notice thoughts arise, just bring it back to the sensation of the breath. And again. So notice how you're feeling more oxygenated. You might be feeling a bit lightheaded, which is a sign that you're pumping oxygen throughout your body. And one of the benefits of doing this is, as we're forcing ourselves with this double inhale and being very specific, we're grounding ourselves back in the present moment. So instead of focusing about other things, we're reminding ourselves, hey, we're doing an exercise, let's bring all of our attention back to the breath. So before we jump into a few examples, we're going to go again, but this time we're going to be a bit more aggressive. Because sometimes when the fear and the anxiety is so extreme, we're really going to need to snap ourselves out of it. And so again, remember, eyes closed, back straight. This time as we do the exercise, we're going to take 2 sharp breaths and a shorter but more profound exhale, like this. So let's do this together, and we're going to do 10 in a row. So keep going, and as you're doing it, I want you to focus on my voice. We're going to concentrate on the flow of the air as it goes in and as it goes out. And this concentration shifts ourselves from thinking to being present, from thinking to the sensation of breath. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to be in the present moment. Let's do 3 more. Okay, and back to regular breathing. So now we're going to do it with some practical examples. So with your back straight and your eyes closed, let's start by taking in a deep breath. Now imagine you're in bed the night before a big fight, and you start to get scared. You start to have anxious thoughts about the fight. As soon as you notice that, double inhale. So, again. 2 more. Now imagine walking into the venue for the first time. You're with your coaches, you can hear the sounds, you can see the sights, you can smell the Thai massage oil, and you start to get scared. Notice that thought, and in that moment, let's apply the tool. Do 2 more. And as you're doing it, remember, we're focusing on the sensation of the breath. Where are we feeling it? This switches us from thinking to being present. Okay, now you're in the change room and you're getting your hands wrapped. And you know it's your turn to fight soon. The fear and the anxiety starts to creep in. This is the perfect moment to apply our technique. Let's go again. We're going to give ourselves 5 breaths. So now we're waiting to walk out to the fight. Our song starts to play, and then we start getting impacted by the nerves. We start to feel the pressure. This is another perfect time to apply the double breath. Let's go again. Now imagine it's the end of the first round. Imagine you got cut open. Imagine you were knocked down. Imagine the worst case scenario. Now you're in your stool. Now's not the time to think about that. Now's the time to set ourselves for the next round, taking advice from our coach. Let's go with a double inhale. Remember, the point of this exercise, we're going to shift from being in that scary thought to being in the present moment. That's super difficult to do when we're really nervous and anxious. One of the proven methods in which to snap back into the present moment is to do this double breath or the physiological sigh. Now the last exercise we're going to do is a bit more discreet. So imagine you're about to give a post-fight speech, you're about to give a presentation or something where you're outside of your comfort zone in public. Now you don't want to give these big, you're going to make everyone feel awkward and yourself too. So you're going to do discreet ones. So you can go twice through the nose and out through the nose. This is a wonderful way to set yourself in the right mood without being obvious you're doing the double breath. And let's do 5 together. So it's... See how natural it can look? Practice this. Now the key thing, again, is as you're doing it, don't stay with a negative thought. Don't be in that mind space. The whole point of doing this twice. So let's refocus all of our energy right in the flow of the breath. Again, it's hard to do, and with practice, we can get really good at it. So whether you do sharp breaths like or longer, or discreet ones. It all depends on you and the scenario and the circumstances. You know how your body acts. You know how you respond to this better than anyone else. So it's up to you to play around and find out what suits you the best. So one of my mindfulness fighters, Felipe Lobo, he's a one championship bantamweight #1 contender. He used breathing techniques before walking out to the fight. But in the second round, he got knocked down. And in that panic, he used a double breath to refocus and bring himself back in the fight. And in the last round, he wins by TKO. Something to think about. I've included a clip of Dr. Andrew Huberman explaining more of the science behind the double inhale.
The physiological sigh is a pattern of breathing that we all engage in deep sleep when levels of carbon dioxide in our bloodstream get too high. The reason it works so well to relax us is because it offloads a lot of carbon dioxide all at once. Our lungs are not just 2 big bags of air. We have all these little millions of sacs of air that if we were to lay them out flat, they would be as big as about a tennis court or so. The volume of air, therefore, and the volume of carbon dioxide that we can offload is tremendously high, except that we get stressed as carbon dioxide builds up on our bloodstream, and as kind of a double whammy, these little sacs deflate. Now, when we do a double inhale, when you do that, you reinflate those little sacs. And when you exhale, then you discard all the carbon dioxide at once. So the simple way to describe this protocol is that unless you are underwater, you do a double inhale followed by an extended exhale, and you offload the maximum amount of carbon dioxide. And we found in our laboratory, and other laboratories have found, that just 1, 2, or 3 of those physiological sighs brings your level of stress down very, very fast.